Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jack Mosel. I'm with a company called Lake Savers. I want to thank you all for having us tonight, and I understand our time is short. Typically, our presentations go roughly an hour and a half, and it's a very informative, science-rich, and also results-rich presentation where we span over 40 years of our history throughout the world, where our company has been successful in restoring water bodies through biology. Tonight I have the pleasure of offering you an opportunity to restore Lake Peekskill. I've met with your LOCA board, Lake Oscawana Civic Association, some time ago, and we worked with Mr. Steve Axon. We put together a proposal for Lake Oscawana and made 3 presentations with them, and we fully expected to have some request for proposal for our budgetary means with regard to that project. So in terms of viability and us being in the community and being capable of engineering a project that was vetted by at least another lake association up the road, I believe that the local community, those present for our presentation, would attest to that. Ted Muniak contacted me a short while ago and asked me to come in and address the matter of Lake Peekskill. He sent me data with regard to Princeton Hydro's investigations over the past years with regard to the state of the lake. And my opinion is that I concur with Princeton Hydro that the lake is eutrophic, bordering hypereutrophic. When I was out in the lake and performed depth survey assessment, I sensed a very strong presence of septic odor from the lake. Upon further investigation, I also noticed that there was a significant amount of organic detritus accumulation within the water body itself. I pulled up a sample of that organic detritus, which is organic muck from the bottom, and I sensed a very strong sulfur smell from that as well. So I concur again with the findings that you had from Princeton Hydro that your water body is dying. And that the reason why the water body is dying is because, largely and simply, it's overfed and it's out of balance. It's not going to get better on its own, and that the TMDL, the total maximum daily load, which is the amount of permissible nutrients coming into a water body, permissible meaning whether or not you're going to do something about it or not, in terms of being a town with laws, but the TMDL, the total maximum daily load of phosphorus, which is the evil nutrient that we're looking to remove from water bodies, is upwards of 50 to 60% concentration accumulated in the water body itself. What that means is that phosphorus is the fuel, the nutrient fuel that provides fuel for plants, such as algae, such as weeds. Now, I understand you installed grass carp some time ago, and those grass carp have done their job. They kept the weed count down. The grass carp is not going to take away the internal loading or nutrient load from the watershed of phosphorus entering your water body and accumulating. So what we do is we use biology. We engineer a lake not to take care of Carreras Beach, isolated, for example, with regard to what the report or the project proposal you got from Princeton Hydro is we engineer a water body unique to itself to include the engineering of physics to roll that lake over once a week, as opposed to twice a year. Lakes invert twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. When they do this through temperature, they bring the surface surface layer of water, which has the most high concentration of dissolved oxygen, to the bottom. That provides enough dissolved oxygen for aerobic bacteria, not pathogenic bacteria, to survive. And if there was enough dissolved oxygen in those 2 rollovers per year to provide the bacteria an aerobic environment where they can continue to live and thrive, then we wouldn't be having this problem that we face called eutrophication. So if you have accumulated sediments as a result of a lack of continuous dissolved oxygen present at the sediment-water contact layer. I hope I'm not talking over your heads, but I have not a lot of time to get into this. I really need an hour and a half. But what I did tonight is I gave you the town officials. I didn't
By the
know
way,
if
Mr.
you were
Mosel,
around.
you are certainly welcome to come to a Lake Peekskill quarterly meeting. We have them three months a year, and you can certainly take up as much time as you want there.
Right, I'd love to be invited to do that.
Sure.
And invite the public as well, because the public's going to have to be involved, because this is not a cheap process.
I'm well aware.
Everything's got a price tag.
Yeah.
And what I've done tonight is I've actually given you the price tag with a guarantee, with a goal-orientated metric to meet a guarantee to restore your water body. Now that's unique. I'm saying that if we install our process with our management, specific to what we're claiming to do here, with using dissolved oxygen through continuous laminar flow inversion, multiple inversions, rolling this lake over once a week as opposed to twice a year, bringing dissolved oxygen to the bottom, providing seed bacteria of aerobic bacteria colonies that are naturally formed and present in healthy water bodies, that we will be able to increase the depth of up to 1 foot per year, remove 90% of the phosphorus that's bound in the water body itself, and increase and enhance the fish and aquatic life throughout the entire food web, from the bottom all the way up. That's an amazing statement that I just gave you.
Is this done through aeration of sorts?
It's more than aeration. More than aeration.
But aeration is a component of it.
Aeration is a component of it. Engineered aeration, something we understand very well because we have a proprietary aeration design of our own ceramic diffusers and our own method by which we use physics of the surface of the water body itself, the depth, the refresh rate, to incorporate the rolling over without creating turbidity, with peak energy efficiency through the systems by which we utilize the engineering design. Water clarity increases, weeds fall back to a healthy level, invasive weeds, fish, insect populations become invigorated and healthy, odors go away, fecal coliform and E. coli strains that may be prevalent as a result of balloons will not occur and cannot occur in one of our systems. We have projects locally in Greenwood Lake, which is a 9-mile bi-state lake, where we have incredible results after 2 years. Already we've seen typical 1 foot increase in depth. Aquatic aeration milfoils is eradicated within 6 months. Water clarity has returned, and we're already starting to see sand form on some of the littoral shelf, the surrounding perimeter of the lake. That is a lake community, Greenwood Lake, if anyone knows Greenwood Lake. That community lives and dies, essentially, economically, due to the health of the lake. An article came out this spring that for the first time in years they were able to have boat races, speedboat races, because the aquatic aeration milfoil is gone. We have a lot to do with that. We have everything to do with that. It's a simple process, but it requires expertise. It also requires us to come in on a frequent and regular basis to perform maintenance. These are systems that we're proposing to you tonight that require hands-on physical labor and maintenance on a regular basis. It requires us to come in and use our trained eyes and our science to provide water sample and depth samples, to titrate the level of enzymes and bacteria. Anything we utilize in our process is food-grade, non-toxic. We have the results. We have 40 years of business experience throughout the world. My partner John Tucci and I of Lake Savers have formed this company 5 years ago. I personally have 25 years experience with Clean Flow Labs. And I was able to as I alluded to with talking to Senator Ball earlier, to have the ability to work with New York State's reservoirs. And we were asked 18 years ago by the city of New York to utilize this very system, this very process, in all of the 12 reservoirs in New York State. It's an interesting process. There's a lot to learn from it, and it's good news for a change. Like I mentioned to Mr. Ball about the fracking issue, and I won't get into that, but the one thing that's unique and very interesting about what we do is that we can actually restore a water body. We can actually reverse the the trophic index of a water body, which puts us in a class far beyond really anybody else in the country. Because the best management practices for restoring a water body have been to address the mitigational variables that we perceive as being nuisance. Odors, weeds, muck, dead fish, water clarity, taste, smell or odor. And then there's the pathogens that cause sickness. For every one of those variables that I mentioned, there's a specific mitigational treatment. Weed harvesting, dredging, lowering the lake, herbicides, carp. All of these things have fleshed out and shown over the last 50 years of limnological, or this is a study of water bodies, best management practices to not work, because these water bodies still show and increase in their deteriorating trophic index. And what the difference that we provide is that we're actually mimicking nature. As man has populated the areas around water bodies, we have created runoff, we've created septic tanks that leak and provide nutrients to these water bodies. We've created acids from our burning of fossil fuels. We've introduced mercuries. We have taxed these water bodies to the point to where they are now pushing back. And what they are saying very loud and very clear is that we've had enough. We can't support this anymore. So this is not indicative to Putnam County, nor is it indicative to North America. This is a problem that's indicative to water bodies, freshwater bodies, of which there is less than 1% of the surface of the Earth's coverage. It's a very precious asset. Water bodies are dying all over the world. And one of the things that we take personal pride in is that we can reverse that process. So I come to you hat in hand with humility, with a great a bunch of information for you I think that your town will get behind. And I come to you with a fixed price, which I believe is affordable if you consider that lake an asset to your community. We threw around a number. Based on these figures, I'm going to give you a sales price, a purchase price for our system, and a management price per year to manage your lake restoration. Or we can invest with you as a partner and provide you through your budgetary means a lease price, where we're actually a vendor coming in to restore your lake with guarantees. 5-year renewable leases. After 3 years, through metrics that we'll design and come to terms with, if we don't meet certain goals after 3 years of the 5-year lease that we provide to you, then you have the option of pulling out of it. That's a guarantee. I don't know that there is an environmental company in the country that would provide for a guarantee, let alone a pretty good bet, to say that they can actually restore your water body and reverse the trophic index. And that's what we're providing to you tonight. I won't go through the figures here and the numbers. I have that given to you. We can have a town hall meeting to discuss it. I've also sent you, Mr. Tendy, the full proposal. But the dollar amount goes something like this, and this may intrigue people. With 900 people taxed, yes, to pay more money for a lake restoration, if it was 900 taxpayers, 900 homes, it would cost $25 a year per home. That's how much this investment would cost. I think that's how much it costs to have a tag to become a member of a lake association. So things to be considered in terms of the budgetary proposal given. What I'm giving you here are hard and fast numbers that we can live with. We're giving you goal-oriented results that we can certainly live up to. And you would have to make infrastructure investments such as electrical infrastructure and pay for the electricity. And I've given you an idea of what that would cost, at $16 per kilowatt hour. I ask you to please look at this, and does anyone have any questions? This may have come out of nowhere. I don't know if it was announced, and those of you that
No, it was on the agenda.
Okay. Does anyone